So how is it different from, a lot of my listeners are, it's somewhat experienced. How is it different from a 1031 exchange? What, what are the main differences there, and how can you
Absolutely.
help?
Before we jump into that, I'll give you a little bit of context. I actually started out my career as a real estate broker at a company called Marcus and Millichap, helping people buy and sell multifamily properties here in Northern California. And this was during the 2006 to 2010 range. And in the beginning of the career, it wasn't easy, right? I was just trying to make it in the business, just learning, and it was really just an apprentice to a mentor who was, one of the top agents and brokers in Northern California for multifamily. And as I learned, I grew, and as I started to get some momentum going, something happened. It was a 2008 crisis, and a lot of folks would probably remember that. And that was really a turning point in my career, but also a big challenge for a lot of our clients. And our clients were faced with the toilets trash liability, but also a lot of debt. And why? Because they had overpaid for properties in the 05, 06, 07 market before the crash. And so when everything came falling down, my business and my reality of being in the business was also challenged, because I had to figure out a way to adapt. I had to figure out a way to add value beyond what every other broker was talking about. And we also wanted to figure out a way to help our clients, friends, and partners and family never face the challenges that they had to face of losing everything. Some of them did, and some of them lost half of their wealth. And we actually focused on the 1031 exchange and some of the shortcomings. And so as a commercial real estate investor myself and broker, we love the 1031 exchange when it's a buyer's market, right? When deals make sense, or there's a value add opportunity, or you can do forced appreciation, increase the rents, and do all the things that we love to do as real estate investors. But it's not always that buying opportunity, right? And in fact, the last few years, we've seen this inventory really drop, cap rates, really get low, meaning cash on cash return wasn't very good. And the same thing happened in the 05, 06, 07 market. And then people felt like they were forced to overpay. And so they did the 1031 exchange, right? Identify within 45 days, close within 180. But remember, it's equal or greater debt or equal or greater value. And so what happened was a lot of them lost everything. And so we set out on a journey, and by we, I mean my fellow colleagues at Marcus and Millichap, and we were looking for a solution for it. And just at the right time, a gentleman came in and spoke on this Deferred Sales Trust, who's now my business partner. Now, he was from the financial advising world, and it was kind of a different perspective. But basically, I took the tool and the secrets that we're about to talk about here in a minute, and I started to apply it to my commercial real estate business. And so helping people buy and sell at any time that they wanted to. And so my business started to grow, and I succeeded. And 13 years later, I've been a commercial real estate broker, and I'm also now founder of Capital Gains Tax Solutions, where we actually train brokers, high-end realtors, syndicators, and financial advisors on how to do this, all so that business professionals can add more value, and then clients can escape feeling trapped by capital gains tax. So we can start with the first secret, and the first secret is this: selling and deferring hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars in capital gains tax, how to legally break free from capital gains tax and find freedom to buy and sell whenever you want without ever worrying about a 1031 exchange ever again, which leads into our deal we just closed in Georgia just about 3 months ago now. A gentleman was selling his $7.6 million multifamily property, and he's bought and sold hundreds of properties for 30 years, and his name is Dave, and he's located in Northern California, and he's done numerous 1031 exchanges, and he actually thought he had a deal in North Carolina that he was going to buy, but he looked at the cap rates, and this is right before COVID-19, and he said, I don't know if these really make any sense. I feel like it's the top of the market. I don't necessarily want to buy this property and overpay for it. And so he had learned about the Deferred Sales Trust about a year ago before this, and so he was still kind of skeptical, still kind of looking at it. But then COVID-19 hit, and he said, I'm all in on the Deferred Sales Trust. And so instead of taking on all this debt, which he had about $4.5 million to replace, he decided to put all of his equity, about $3.1 million, into the Deferred Sales Trust. And here's the key: we saved his failed 1031 exchange. He was past his 45-day identification, and he didn't want to overpay. He really didn't like the deals that he had, and we helped him defer $1.1 million in tax. Okay, and so now the money is sitting at TD Ameritrade, Bank of New York Mellon, Charles Schwab, some of the largest banks in the world. And then he was also able to put $2 million into hard money lending. So immediately he got out of the real estate market. He got all of his powder dry. He's on the sidelines, and right now his money it's hard money lending. It's getting about 6%, and he's just waiting for a deal to come. And that deal may be in a month or 2 or 6 or 12. But his point is, look, Brett, I didn't want to buy and overpay for a property, right? I didn't want to be forced into a 1031 exchange. I was tired tired of the toilets, the trash, the liability. I'm glad I was able to meet Capital Gains Tax Solutions, learn about this Deferred Sales Trust, and now I can buy whenever I want and create and preserve more wealth. So I'll pause there because you might have some questions on that first secret.
You have just listened to another information-packed episode of Capital Gains Tax Solutions with Brett Swarts. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found it helpful. Visit capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to access the show notes and to access more resources. Don't forget to leave a review and join us again next time.